Today, Slack is a household name, a giant valued in the tens of billions. It's easy to look at that success and assume they had a golden ticket from day one, that when they first pitched investors, they walked in with a flawless product and an obvious home run. But in 2013, the reality was much messier. Founder Stuart Butterfield and his team were desperately pivoting away from a dying multiplayer video game called Glitch. The market they were entering was brutally indifferent. Corporate IT departments didn't have a budget line item for team messaging. To collaborate, companies used a chaotic mix of free, entrenched tools like Skype, Google Hangouts, and endless email threats. When they walked into pitch meetings to ask for millions of dollars, they had no established market category and a business model that was entirely unproven. Yet, they secured the funding. They succeeded by building a pitch deck that engineered venture capitalist psychology, systematically isolating and eliminating every single reason an investor might say no. Winning that money was about removing doubt, not being perfect. The first major hurdle in any pitch room is unspoken but loud: risk. Asking people for millions of dollars to back a team that just failed at making a video game is a massive liability. Most startup founders in this position would try to bury that failure. They'd gloss over the timeline, hide the missteps, and sprint straight to the new idea before investors could ask hard questions. Slack did the exact opposite. Early in their pitch, they showed investors this timeline slide. They put their entire messy history, including the failed game Glitch, right in the center of the screen. Look closely at how this is framed. By placing the failure of Glitch between their past success with Flickr and the launch of Slack, the narrative shifts. They used the timeline to show they could build a product, test the market, and rapidly adapt when things didn't work. This level of strategic transparency told the room they were dealing with battle-tested veterans. They knew how to recognize a dead end, and more importantly, how to salvage the core technology to build something better. By steering directly into their chaotic history, they took their biggest liability and turned it into their ultimate source of credibility. The next objection they had to dismantle was structural. In 2013, there was zero existing IT budget for workplace chat. Trying to sell a software tool into a market category that doesn't exist yet is a massive barrier. Butterfield's saddle philosophy moved the pitch away from technical components. He argued that the value lies in the improved experience of the writer, using the physical tool as a vehicle for that specific goal. They didn't pitch software. First, they forced investors to look at how people were working. They painted a vivid picture of a painful, broken system where employees were drowning in information overload and losing hours to chaotic email chains. They promised a future where teams could finally regain control over their internal knowledge, moving from scattered email chains to a searchable, centralized history. We can see exactly how they supported this narrative right here on this slide. Instead of listing dry technical specifications, they highlighted social network features for work. They positioned the product as a familiar behavioral shift, a human solution to a human problem. By framing the current state of work as a source of massive organizational friction, Slack positioned their product as the only viable way to fix a system that was already leaking money through lost productivity. Even with a great narrative, investors still have one final question. How do we know users won't just download this and abandon it in a week? When pushed on traction, a typical startup will throw dozens of scattered vanity metrics at the wall: total downloads, signups, page views, hoping something sticks. Slack chose the opposite approach, wiping away the noise. They built their entire traction argument around a single, undeniable change in human behavior: active daily users. Steady daily active usage metrics showed that once a team installed Slack, they integrated it into their workflow for hours at a time. By radically simplifying their data, they refused to let investors get distracted by secondary numbers. They forced the entire room to focus on the raw momentum of user obsession. The difference between a pitch deck that secures millions of dollars and one that gets quietly filed away is the aggressive, deliberate removal of friction in the investor's mind. You can find out right now if your pitch has too much friction by using the 60-second flip test. Take your current pitch deck, hand it to a friend who doesn't know your business, and ask them to flip through the entire thing in under 1 minute. When the minute is up, ask them what you are asking for and why it matters. If they stumble, or if they can't articulate your core value proposition immediately, your deck is failing the test. The painful truth is that engineering this level of precise psychology from scratch, structuring the narrative so that every slide actively dismantles an objection, takes weeks of frustrating work. That is exactly why we built our VC-ready 16-slide pitch deck kit. It's a complete $497 system designed to act as your ultimate shortcut. Hit the link in the description below to grab the kit. It removes the guesswork, saves you weeks of rewrites, and provides the exact narrative flow that venture capitalists actually respond to.